In a quiet village nestled between misty mountains, there stood a giant peak called Heaven Peak. The villagers believed a temple on its summit would carry their prayers to the heavens, but the climb was steep and dangerous. One day, the elders announced a challenge. Whoever could build a staircase to the top would bring honor to them all. A young, strong man named Wee stepped forward, his voice booming. "No one will climb faster than me." The villagers cheered. But then, an old widow named Lynn, frail and slow, stepped forward too. The crowd laughed. "Grandmother Lynn," they mocked. "How will you climb a mountain?" Lynn simply smiled and said, "I will carry 1 stone a day." The next day, we powered up the mountain, carrying massive stones and shouting with pride. Lynn moved quietly, tying a small stone in a cloth, climbing slowly, placing it gently, and returning home. At first, Wee's staircase grew rapidly, while Lynn's progress was almost invisible. But soon, Wee grew tired. Some days he overslept. Other days he'd say, "I'll do double tomorrow." But tomorrow never came. His pile of stones sat untouched. Meanwhile, Lynn continued, day after day. Through summer heat, autumn winds, winter snow, and spring rain, she climbed, whispering to herself, "Just 1 more stone today." Years passed. Then one morning, a bell rang from the sky. The villagers rushed out and gasped. A perfect staircase stretched all the way to the peak, shining in the sun. Lynn had done it. The woman they mocked had built a highway to the heavens, 1 stone at a time. The villagers bowed in respect. "You were not the strongest, or the fastest," they said, "but you never stopped." We stood humbled, realizing that talent without consistency is like thunder without rain, loud and impressive, but it can't make anything grow. The staircase was named the Path of Patience. Her story became a legend, a reminder that greatness isn't built in bursts of energy, but in small, steady steps, repeated day after day. So carry your stone today, and another tomorrow. One day, you will stand on the peak of your own mountain, amazed at the path your perseverance has built. Because in the end, consistency will always outshine talent. Thanks for watching. In a quiet village nestled between misty mountains, there stood a towering giant called Heaven Peak. The villagers dreamed of building a temple on its highest point so their prayers could rise straight into the sky. But the path was steep, the winds were sharp, and the climb seemed impossible. One day, the elders announced a challenge. Whoever could build a staircase to the top would bring honor to them all. From the crowd, a strong young man named Wee stepped forward. "No one will climb faster than me," he declared. The villagers cheered, certain his strength would conquer the mountain. But then, a frail old widow named Lynn stepped forward, her back bent and her hands trembling. The villagers laughed. "Grandmother Lynn," they mocked, "you can barely carry water. How will you climb the mountain?" Lynn simply smiled and replied softly, "I will carry 1 stone a day." The next morning, we charged up the mountain with massive stones on his shoulders, shouting proudly with each step he laid. Meanwhile, Lynn moved quietly. Every day, she tied a small stone in a cloth, climbed the path slowly, placed her stone, and returned home. At first, Wee's staircase shot upward, making Lynn's progress seem invisible. But as time passed, Wee grew tired. Some mornings he overslept. Other days he told himself, "I'll do double tomorrow." But that tomorrow never came. His pile of stones sat untouched. Lynn, however, continued her journey every single day. Through scorching heat, cutting winds, and heavy snow, she climbed. Her legs trembled, but she always whispered to herself, "Just 1 more stone today." Days turned into months, and months turned into years. Then one morning, a bell rang from the heavens. The villagers rushed out and stared in awe. A solid, steady staircase stretched from the foot of the mountain all the way to its sacred peak, shining in the morning sun. Lynn had done it. The woman they had mocked had built a highway to the sky, 1 stone at a time. The villagers bowed before her. "You were not the strongest, and you were not the fastest," they said, "but you never stopped. And that is why you succeeded." We stood silently, humbled. He finally understood that talent without consistency is like thunder without rain, loud and impressive, but it can't make anything grow. The staircase was named the Path of Patience, a reminder that greatness is not built in bursts of energy, but in small, steady steps repeated day after day. So carry your stone today, and carry another tomorrow. One day, you too will stand on the peak of your own mountain, amazed at the path your perseverance has built. Thanks for watching.